How many holes are we playing today?
Playing 21 holes.
I thought there was only 18 on this course.
There is, but we're including you.
When you have a little planned overtime.
When I say I'm nasty, I mean I'm nasty like I want you to come home from work and whip that thing out and put it right in my mouth. I don't care if you've been working out in the sun all day and you got a little salt on it. Have you ever ate a good steak without seasoning? Me neither.
Good Lord. Holy moly.
I just love when guys are like, I'm so glad you're not crazy like those other girls, you know, but what they don't realise is that this is the free trial. You don't get the crazy till the full subscription. Okay, silly?
Good morning, my lovers. Let's get ready for a 6 a.m. run. Today I wore the Wilson Midtown tennis skirt and paired it with the Aloe Yoga Splendor bra. Put my hair in a bun. Put on my sunscreen. This is the Kiehl's Super Fluid SPF 50. Put on deodorant. This is Degree Advanced 72-Hour Cool Rush. Put on my Apple Watch. Take my pre-workout. Today I took the Bloom Raspberry Lemonade. Tape my feet. Today's run isn't too long, so we're gonna wear my Chase ones. A regular size tampon was used for this run today. Put on my Pink Beat Fits Pros. And we're off.
Was the regular tampon used to stop the flow? Or she put that in her crack to stop the sweat? Yikes.
Men with good dick think they have control of you. Motherfucker, please. First of all, yes, sir.
Yeah, boy.
I heard this guy say this. It's been like ingrained in my head, so much so that whenever I don't want to do something, this is the actual phrase that comes in my head. Boys are confident, men are certain. The other thing is, he's like, it's not about doing your best, it's about doing what's required. And whenever I have a hard thing, like I'm like, I can make more videos for content or whatever. I don't want to do this podcast or whatever it is. Literally my immediate thought, that's like my subconscious, is like, I will do what's required.
Was making a cereal when I realized I have no milk, no cereal, no friends, no bitches, no money, no job, no confidence, no social life, no car, no food, no goals, no future, no will to live.
Completely, absolutely worthless. White folks are planning for 3 generations, and we're planning for Saturday night. I would rather carry a plastic bag with $5,000 in it than to carry a $5,000 Louis Vuitton bag with $100 in it. Nike is winning. Gucci is winning. Armani is winning. You ain't winning. We are the consumption class. They are the merchant class. They make stuff. We buy stuff. The rich stay rich by pretending to be poor, and the poor stay poor by pretending to be rich. We got this shit ass backwards.
Females talking about my BBL.
Bitch, that's the same shit they got your baby daddy for. That's the same shit they got your last hoe cut. Bitch, that's the same shit they got your baby daddy for. Come outside, hoe. Get outside, hoe.
Yeah, pull up. But what happens when that thing pops, though?
God will show you your vision, but never tell you how you're going to get there. And there's a reason why. Because your vision is a glimpse of your end. Between the end and where you are is called the plan. The plan is the process that takes you to your destination. God will tell you your end, like he showed Joseph. He showed Joseph the throne. He's sitting on the throne, ruling, feeding his brothers. That's the end. God showed you your end. He showed each one of you your end. Everybody got a dream. But he never tells you the plan. Why? Because if he ever told you the plan, you would tell him, forget the destination. Because the plan is to prepare you for the destination. Right. So he takes you through all these different changes to develop you. If Joseph knew that he had to go through a pit and prison to get to that throne, he'd tell God, forget the throne. That's right. So your plan is secret to God.
Man, ain't that the truth? Sometimes that path is so fucked up, you definitely wouldn't go down it if you knew what you're in for, but it always seems to be worth it at the end. Hang in there, guys.
Here's a wrecked Model X I got. That makes you wonder how in the heck something like this got this messed up. Oh, I know how. What the fuck?
Alright, guys, hey, go check out my coffee mug store. I got some cool designs in there. I made them all myself. And we also have the Smackn The Wall merch store. So if you get a chance or you want to, go over there and check those out. The links are in the description.
This lowrider Tesla Model Y is a prime example of what happens when you spare no expenses on a build. Let's take a closer look at the paint. Everywhere you look on this car, from the airbrush artwork to the metal turning and even the pinstriping, everything is done to the nines. The lowrider influence continues with spokes and vogues with custom spinner caps. And if we take a closer look through the automatic opening frunk, you'll see an air setup that is engraved to look like a custom hydraulic setup. But the guys that built this car didn't just stop there. Even the interior is 100% custom upholstered and airbrushed. To top it all off, the audio system in this thing sounds incredible. It's safe to say this Tesla is truly one of a kind.
Now see, this is why you never let a bitch come stay in your motherfucking house. It's always some bullshit that come with it. Don't ever, man, listen. I'm not tripping. I come in the house. No, I come in the house, y'all. So I come in the house, I open my room door. This bitch come running out of my room. And my husband's laying down in the bed. She come running out of my room. So what was she doing in there? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that don't even make sense. Look, I done took care of this bitch. I done fed this bitch. And now she's sitting here doing God knows what with my husband when I come home. Then this the second time that some shit like this done happened. We watching them.
But you let in here, though.
We watching a movie. Please shut up. Okay. Please shut up. Right. Because we watching a movie, and I leave out the room. I come back in. This whole cuddled up with my motherfucking husband. Cuddled up on the couch. And you think, look at this bitch. It's time for you to go home. It's time for you to go home, because that's my motherfucking man. That's my motherfucking man.
Good morning, everybody. Getting ready for my day. Thought I would come in here and say hi to everybody.
They call her Camel Toe.
Have a great one.
Ambulance rides in the state of Texas start at $1,200. Make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. You gotta protect your fun bags.
That's what I'm talking about.
What was the moment that you felt like you had made it?
When I sold my first business for $30 million in cash, that was one of those moments, because that was more money than I could have imagined. So I sell my business, and they give me 3 checks for $30 million. And I go back to my office, and they're sitting at my desk. I'm looking at them, and I can't comprehend that kind of money. And then I realize, oh my gosh, I'm losing interest while the checks are sitting here. So I run
Get to the bank.
I run across the street to the bank. I finally get to the front, and I say, I'd like to make a deposit. And the lady says, did you fill out a deposit slip?
Oh my gosh.
And I said, I'm sorry, I forgot. She goes, I'll do it for you this time. I give her the check. She looks down, she looks at me, she goes, I'm going to need to get the manager. That was cool.
First thing you bought with that kind of money?
I wanted to pay off my parents' house. And so I paid off their house without telling them. And 3 months later, my mom shows up at my door, and she gives me the check back. And she says, don't ever do that again. It's your money. You work for it. We're so proud of you. We don't need anything from you. It was great. Yeah.
That's a really awesome story. I really like that. And, you know, it's stories like this that invoke emotions in me that make me want to pursue it, to do it too, to feel that win. And I hope that you guys can feel that too, because it really fuels the fire to keep you going. And you'll hit those wins little by little. I can't wait to see $1 million cash in the bank account. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
I've cheated plenty of times in my life, by the way, but I'm a reformed cheater. I would never do it again.
So never again?
Never again.
I mean, maybe.
No, I swear to God, I won't.
Okay.
Everyone deserves a one-time cheat in their relationship or marriage. Just a one-time.
I disagree.
You do?
100%. Yes. So it's safe to say you're gonna cheat again.
Not when I have a ring on it.
What about engaged? You're just engaged. You're engaged for a year.
That's a gray zone.
Yeah, I know.
But once it's marriage, it's done.
You know what's really cool about marriage is that I can look like this and I'm 125% gonna get laid tonight.
Now, psychologists say that fully 95% of your emotions are determined by the way you talk to yourself as you go through your day. This is called your inner dialogue. It's the stream of words and thoughts and feelings that course through your day like a river going through your mind. The sad fact is that if you do not deliberately and consciously talk to yourself in a positive and constructive way, you will, by default, think about things that will make you unhappy or cause you worry and anxiety. Remember, your mind is like a vacuum. It will not remain empty. If you don't fill it with positive thoughts, it will fill with negative thoughts.
That's Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy's the man. Changed my life. Everything he says is true. This shit's so fucking true. This is the key to my happiness and joy. I literally figured out a way to just think about things that made me feel gratitude all the time. Changed my whole life.
You gotta just know that everything is temporary. When you try and hold on to something, that's when it can destroy you. Anything. People, seasons, places, things are all temporary, and that's why you have to enjoy that present, right?
You're not gonna go, boy. Oh, that's got a shot.
Is it 9 companies that you run?
9 companies right now.
How does that happen? I mean, how do you run 9 companies? I want to get to your whole origin story, I guess, if you will. But that is something that right away on its face just, sounds shocking to people.
So I don't recommend it, by the way. It's not something I recommend.
Yeah.
When I say 9 companies, you don't start like that. For me, originally, when I went into financial services with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, I left. I went to Transamerica World Financial. I was with them for 7.5 years. And then at the tail end of it, I watched Jerry Maguire, literally. After Jerry Maguire, I write a 16-page, what we ought to do to take this company to the next level with 9 ideas that I have. And I emailed it. Nobody responds back. Then I email it to the CEO of Aegon, and he responds back. And he sends it to a guy named Jack. Then Jack calls everybody that didn't respond to me to fly out to Orange County, have a meeting with me for 7-8 hours, and I proposed everything, and then nothing happened. So I went back and I said, okay, no problem. If that's the case, if you don't value these ideas, maybe I'll go do it myself.
All right, y'all, let's see what I got for you today. I've been talking about picking your lane, and picking a lane is very important. It's equally as critical as to whether or not you have the characteristics, the habits, and behaviors to be an entrepreneur in the first place. But when you're picking a lane, you really got to figure out, does this make sense? And you need to do it on paper. And what I would do is I would take, my top 5 best options on paper and see how big is the market? What's the demographic? Who am I selling to? What's my startup cost? What's my monthly cost? How many people employment-wise am I going to have to manage? And break down all these numbers. When we come to expenses, we want to make them as high as possible. When it comes to gross money coming in or money coming in, we want to make these numbers as low as worst as possible. So if you got, sky high bills and worst case scenario profit, if it still works, that's a really good sign. So that's what I kind of look for. When I started YouTube, the thing for me is I've done a lot of labor businesses and different stuff like that, and I didn't want it to be labor anymore. I wanted it to be intellectual property. I wanted to be able to create something and to make me money in my sleep. So I had, to write down my options. Then when I got to the fact that I realized YouTube was probably my best option, I wrote down my best top 5 or 10 options from there. So I had considered doing different channels, and right now we're doing a police POV one. We have this one. I realized that celebrity obituaries would be really easy. People love these drill rap dudes. So if you did like the drill rap report for who got murdered for the day, that shit takes off. So there's all these different faceless channels I anticipated making. And I thought to myself, I want an ease of production. I don't want to have to get a camera and write a script and hire people and go outside and make all these videos. I didn't want to have a podcast where I had to sit down 5 people and have this conversation and rent out the building and all this stuff, because those production costs are out of control. So when I thought about doing YouTube, I thought about production costs. I thought about faceless channels. I thought about, my different options in those spaces. I was kind of mind blank, but there's a lot of other things that we thought about. And then I had them all written down on paper so I could visually see it, because there's so many moving parts. If you don't write this down on paper, you're not going to be able to make a decision. You're not going to be able to analyze if even 2 of the options work well without writing it all down on paper. You also need to analyze your competition. If you're on YouTube and you see that there's channels that are doing good, that topic's doing good, that's a good sign. If you're out there and you're going to start a business, changing oil, you need to See how much your competition changes oil for. How busy are they? What can you do better than them? And all these different things. Anyways, there's a lot of resources out there where you guys can figure out how to analyze whether or not a business is going to work. I personally write business plans. They usually are about 10 to 16 pages long, is how intricate it is, until I can actually make a decision. But, you know, businesses fail half because the person was an entrepreneur in the first place, or they're growing into being an entrepreneur and it's a stepping stone for them, or they didn't pick the lane properly and there was no money to be made there. The demographic, the customers, there wasn't enough of them to pay your mortgage. So it's important to analyze what you're doing before you do it down to a T. All right, guys, I always appreciate you listening in. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to see you on the next one.